Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We're going to take a few seconds here as everybody's popping up and logging in. Give you all a chance to get logged in and listen in on our webinar. Wow. It's fun watching these numbers just go bing, 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 bing as people join us. It's so great to have you here. Okay. Looks like the numbers are still got people coming in. We'll give it just a moment here. Okay, looks like we're slowing down. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Bober, and I work in marketing and communications for Renew International. This is the face behind all the emails that you get. We're so happy to have you here with us today to learn more about Baptism Matters. This is such a great program, and we are excited to be able to share about it with you. And a little bit of housekeeping as we get started. This webinar is being recorded, so yes, do watch your email. You'll get a recording in a day or two. Oh, it's great to see all these people popping up in the chat. You know, Diocese of Fresno, nice to have you with us. And if you have questions during the webinar, please put them into the Q&A box. I will be monitoring the Q&A box and feeding the questions on to our presenter, who is Deacon Pete Fiore, and I'm going to hand things over to him and make myself vanish. So great to have you all with us. Hope you enjoy.
Okay. Hello, everyone. And as Jennifer said, we're very excited to have you all here with us. I thank you for spending some time with us here today as we talk about baptism and Baptism Matters. What I'd like to do is we will go through a number of slides. I will stop at some point before the end to see if you have any questions. I have no problem answering questions as we go along. So if you have any, put them into the chat box and we'll answer them as we go along. So let's get started. For those of you who are familiar with Renew, you're probably more than familiar with our mission. For those of you who are not familiar with Renew, I'd like to share with you what we are about. Our mission here is to renew personal faith and parish life by unlocking the power of small groups, equipping laity and clergy to share their Catholic faith and live it every day. What we do is help people to grow in their encounter with Jesus and their personal faith, and to share that in the safety and of small groups, and that sharing of faith. I encourage everyone to go out and bring it into the world. So that's what we do here at Renew, and that is what we use as a basis for all of our resources, including Baptism Matters. I think everyone who is on this Zoom meeting today would agree that long are gone the days where most families would attend together Sunday Mass. That's an unfortunate thing, but most of those days are gone. I think you'll also agree that some, if not many, young people are approaching their faith differently. Young people see their faith more as relational rather than doctrinal, so going into a building is not as important to them, and therefore sometimes baptizing their children kind of falls between the cracks. And as a deacon, if there are any deacons on the meeting today, I am baptizing more older children than I have ever before, because it just, baptism became an afterthought to some parents. So hopefully we can reverse that. There are many reasons for that. I think some people would say that we've lost at least one, possibly two generations of Catholics. Maybe we are not doing a good job catechizing. And again, it all begins with baptism. So the goal is to get young people into the door and to the baptismal font. There are reasons why that's happening. If we look here, we can see that young people are crazy busy. Their schedules are constantly being filled up. And a lot of that is because we have good technology today, which is a good thing, obviously, but it also can cause us to become distracted and can fill up our schedules just because everything is so easy to access, and we can easily be distracted into many more things than we care to be. Other characteristics of young people. Well, today more than ever, there are many more non-traditional families, and that's okay, that's good. I think we'd also agree that compared to previous generations of the 60s, 70s, and maybe even into the 80s, some, if not many, are not as well catechized as their parents. But one thing that we discovered, most people, young people, are looking for community. And again, that goes back to the fact that our technology is so good today that people can be connected with so many others, not even in their local community or extended community, but anywhere in the world. So that's important to them. In putting together Baptism Matters, we thought about all of that, and we decided that if we were going to do something that would be meaningful, we had to create something that was welcoming to young people. One of the things that I know I hear, and you may as well, from young folks who have left the Catholic Church, is that they did not see the Catholic Church as being welcoming, or as welcoming as to places where they've landed. So we wanted to create something that would welcome. We also realized that it's important to speak to people in their own language. So we had to embrace the same technology that they were using. And again, because of their busy lifestyle, we needed to create some scheduling options, or we had to create something that would be very, very special and flexible for young people. We also needed to meet them where they are. Each of us are on the same faith journey, but we are in different places on that faith journey. Hopefully, we're all leading to the same place, but we are all in different places. So in order to be effective, we consider the fact that we should begin with the basics and go from there. And also, we should provide opportunities for those folks who participate in this online program to be able to meet others in their own local parish. So what makes us different? What makes Baptism Matters stand out? Well, number one is it is totally online. All components, 100% of them are online. There's no printed materials that you have to worry about getting or storing or keeping track of. You can just log in as many times as you want, and everything you need is right there. All of the parent modules, and including the godparent modules, will cover all of the topics outlined in the General Directory for Catechesis. So everything here is 100% up to date. And because we are online, it becomes very easy to update things as needed. One of the things is that I'm getting as feedback for those parishes that are using Baptism Matters is they're very excited over the fact that every family being prepared in their parish with Baptism Matters hears the same identical information. So it's not like, and it's not a bad thing to have people who volunteer to run the baptism prep. I did it in mine, but I know also that, depending upon whether I felt tired or what time of the day it was, I might have missed something, and not intentionally. This way, everybody gets the exact same information, and it's all pretty standard. And another good part about it is that once they are catechized with all of the same information, when they do get to meet the parish staff or the volunteers that are doing baptism prep, those meetings take on a different flavor. Those meetings don't need to be training meetings. They can be pastoral meetings where you can help to build a relationship with the young parents, getting to know what is their hopes and dreams for their child. What would they want to get out of joining your parish? What could they give of themselves by joining, your parish? So the meeting takes on a whole different flavor. Again, we encourage a mentor model. So that would go back to the thing I mentioned before about giving opportunities to meet others in your parish. Now, you may or may not be doing that already, or you may decide to use it or not. I will say that those parishes assigning mentor couples to young parents are reporting tremendous success, not only while the parents are being prepared for their child's baptism, but afterwards, these parents tend to be engaged in the parish, attend Mass more often, and oftentimes join some ministries in that parish. So that's something to consider, mentoring couples. All of you more than likely have your own interview guide. If yours needs to be updated, you might find ours useful. Ours seems to be very well accepted by many of the parishes who buy into Baptism Matters. We do provide in-person meeting guides. We encourage families to get together. We encourage you to do the online preparation with them, but then bring young families together. We provide resources to do prayer service, faith sharing, and discussion. Again, parishes that are doing this are bringing together young families who may not know that another young family exists in the parish. In my own parish, this has actually contributed to the growth of a young mothers club. And now they get together once a month. They not only get together to pray and to faith share, but also to bring in experts that talk to them about subjects, parenting subjects. And so that was a good offshoot of using this. And one of the other things is, we're hoping that this becomes an evangelizing opportunity, the Baptism Matters. So we want to keep parents and maybe godparents engaged. So there's opportunity for automatic emails on birthdays and anniversaries of baptism. We are going to be adding, and we are adding items to the resource site to try to keep parents engaged and connected between baptism and preparation for First Holy Communion. So at this point, Jennifer, if you have any questions, I'd answer those.
Yes, we do have a very good question. You mentioned the parent modules cover all topics outlined in the GDC 97 for baptism. What about the newly released directory for catechesis in 2020?
Yes, so that is being updated now. It will, yes.
And I believe that when we went through, it was fairly minor changes that needed to be made.
Right, very simple. Nothing that would, very, very minor.
So the advantage of having something online is that we can go in and update and change it quickly.
Yeah. I'm not sure if any of you online are familiar with My Catholic Faith Delivered. They do support us here with this. We work with them, so we give them what we need, then they update it. So that's where we are with that. But they do have many other parish programs, and you may or may not be familiar with them. So, yes.
And another question that came up is about, I know you're going to talk about cost towards the end,
Yes.
but asking how many lessons there are in the modules.
I'm going to, if you can hold off for about 2 minutes, I'm going to go through what it looks like when you buy this and log in. I'll go through that. And in the end, I will tell you exactly what it costs. And I will also offer you an opportunity to use this as a trial basis. So we can get to that if you can hold off just 2 more minutes.
Sounds good.
We're good? I
think so.
All right. So when you purchase Baptism Matters, notice I didn't say if, I said when. You get a login email and land on this page. Once you log in to your individual parish, you'll be brought to a dashboard, which looks like this. And if you look at the top, you'll see that there are 6 tabs. Right now we're on the dashboard of the Cathedral of St. Matthew. They were my guinea pig parish. They were the first one to do it. And they started last March at the beginning of the pandemic. They are up to about 75 parent and godparent couples right now. So that number 18 is up to about 75. But you would, as an administrator, get to see this page. You can see on the left-hand side all of the folks in your parish that are signed up. In the middle of the page, you can see the progress as a parish as to what they've gone through. Here, almost 56% of the parents signed up have gotten through the parent modules. And on the right-hand side, you will get notifications of all those that have certificates. That means that they have completed everything. Every parent and godparent can, at the end, print out for themselves a very nice certificate and can also email a certificate proving completion to not only their home parish, but if anyone in your parish is going to be a godparent somewhere else, they can email it out to that other parish. Okay, so let me answer a little bit of the question that came up as far as modules. There are three courses. There's one for parents, one for godparents, and one for staff. The staff course has 6 modules. Parents have 4. Godparents have 3. Each module takes approximately 20 minutes to complete. So that means that staff course takes about 2 hours. Parents take anywhere from 80 to 90 minutes, and godparents about an hour. Nice thing about the modules is you can start them, you can stop them and go back as many times as you want. You will never have to go back to the beginning. It remembers exactly where you left off. It will bring you to the exact spot where you left off, and you can keep going. I know that a lot of parents say to me, gee, that's a great thing because I catch 10 minutes when my baby goes to sleep, and when that baby wakes up again, and I have to leave it and come back 2 hours later, I don't have to waste time going to the beginning. I can just get another 10, 15 minutes, and then eventually I'm done. So hopefully that answers that question. The godparent modules are very similar to the parent modules. The staff modules are different. And again, I will offer anyone online right now an opportunity to view any of those for 2 weeks. You can get a free trial by emailing me or calling me, and I will set you up, and I will give you a 2-week free access to do anything on this on the platform. Okay. If you drill down, we can go into an individual. So we just left the parish page, and I drilled down to the first name, which was Dan. Dan was a godparent, and I can see here that he has finished 100% of his course. All right. However, he did not do anything with his certificate. So it turned out that Dan was a parishioner at Cathedral. He didn't need to prove anything, so he didn't bother with the certificate. If he was a godparent in another parish, he could have gone and printed out and emailed his certificate. One of the other nice things is that every time you enroll a parent or godparent in our system, you will have a permanent record of everyone that has gone through their baptism prep, the dates, the courses, and their completion or not. So everything that goes in remains in. And I know that's a big deal for many places, as they tell me that they do not now need to keep a paper trail. So that's an advantage. As I mentioned before, we do have resources. Again, if you look at the top and the tabs, we've now gone from the dashboard, which is at the top here, over to resources. When that drops down, we have instructions for the coordinators in the parish, for ordering parent and godparent modules. We have an admin guide. We do have family resources. That's the area where we're going to constantly add things in there for your parents and godparents on a continual basis. And then, of course, there's the Baptism Matters overview, which you could use to show to parents, if you like, what this is all about. All right. So how do we begin? Well, each one of the modules begins with a prayer. We begin everything with prayer, as we should. And we also believe it's important to witness. So our modules will have witness stories of people who have come to bring their children for baptism, what their story is. They're moving and powerful. And I'm sure that many of the young parents and parishes today can connect with the young people who are witnessing in our modules. When we move beyond that, we end up getting into some of the catechesis. So we begin with baptism, for example, talking about where baptism fits in with the other sacraments, the grace that is given in baptism as compared to the other sacraments. It's a little bit of catechesis in that respect. We impress on families that we are a faith of community, and although their child's baptism is most important to them and their family, okay, every child's baptism is equally important and a blessing to the faith community of the parish, as well as the broader Catholic community around the world. So we impress them with that. And then, of course, we have all of the remaining preparation, the signs and the symbols of baptism, what it means, why it's important, how Jesus modeled baptism for us, and everything that you would normally do in person to prepare a person for receiving baptism. We go through the steps of baptism. So they get all of that before they come and sit in front of you, and you do not have to go through that with them. You could if you want, but you shouldn't have to. Okay, so that's kind of the process. It's difficult to show you that here, which is why I offer everyone an opportunity to go in and at least take a look at one of the modules, spend 20 minutes if you like, and get a firsthand experience with what that looks like. So now I mentioned to you that the cathedral in Washington was the first to use it. I had lots of conversations with the director of faith formation. She was a wonderful resource to us here at Renew and helping us to fine-tune the program. And after she used it about 7-8 months, I asked her what she actually thought about it. And this is what she said. She said, Baptism Matters is theologically sound, pastorally sensitive, and extremely user-friendly. And of course, she thanks us for it. I think what she was saying here about pastorally sensitive is that we are inclusive of all types of families, including all of the non-traditional families. So it's something that I'm hearing quite often. Thank you for making us included. And I think that's important. We need to be sensitive, to that. Now, what was interesting was that I got a phone call not long ago from a couple who actually the husband is a longtime parishioner here, and they have moved to France. And so he and his wife became Renew's very first international user of the program. And hopefully they will at some point be able to bring their set of twins into Washington for the baptism, which is where he was baptized, and also he and his French wife were married. But they went through this, and I said, I'd like to hear what you think about it. And this is what he wrote to me. He wrote, my wife and I have had the pleasure of completing the online learning module, Baptism Matters for Parents, which we both found to be extremely well done, poignant, informative, compelling, and highly inspirational. In particular, we found it to be perfectly balanced between teaching the spiritual and symbolic importance of the sacrament and the day-to-day roles we as parents must play in our domestic church. In addition, the order of themes and messages and the sequence and variety of speakers was both engaging and logical. And so I was very happy with that because it spoke to everything that we tried to do with this. We tried to make this an engaging program. So there's a mix of reading and listening. We were hoping that by mixing up different ways to hear and learn, it would be engaging and not boring. And the feedback that I'm getting is from everyone is very, very similar to what I just read to you. So I am very confident that we succeeded in that. So this is what a parish investment is. It's $299 for year one, $150 for renewals, and for logins for parents and godparents, it's $25, and they own that for 1 year. So they can use that. Now, I can tell you that during the pandemic, I have had some parents and godparents purchase this, and when I spoke with them, I discovered that their babies were not even born yet. And I thought, well, that's really good planning. I wish I was that good at my planning. And their comment was, we want to do this, and we want to be proactive, and we don't want to be caught at the end being unprepared. So I have had a decent number of parents who have actually gone through this while their babies were, getting ready to be born. Right now, again, I give you the free access, and I also can offer a 10% discount. If you like what you see and you feel that this can be of value to you, I can offer you a 10% discount off the initial fee if you decide to purchase this before May 31st. And the way to get started by doing that is to either contact me here at my renewinternational.org address, or dialing 908-769-5400, and either asking for Deacon Pete or punching in extension 110. All right. So that's the gist of it.
So Pete, we have some more questions.
Good.
Vicki would like you to expand a bit more on why the online catechesis versus in person.
Why the online? Say that again. I'm sorry, broke up, Jen.
Why to do online catechesis versus in person?
Yeah. Well, again, there are a couple of good reasons, I think, but it's a matter of personal preference. Now, as a person who has done in-person baptism prep for probably 25 years, the advantages for me were a number. I used to do my baptism preps the first Tuesday of every month, and I did that every single month of the year. What's happened in the last couple of years is I would get a phone call and I would hear something like, Deacon Pete, it's going to rain or it's going to snow. I don't have someone to babysit, so I really have to cancel. Okay, fine. So doing it online, kind of takes that away. Sometimes parents would come, babies would scream and cry. I'm okay with that. I had 4 children, 2 of which were colics. I'm used to screaming babies. I could work around that, but that kind of was not great experience for parents. The other thing, as I said, was if I wasn't doing the baptism prep and I handed that off to another volunteer, I wasn't so certain that the parents were hearing the same that I would give. And I know this, and my pastor would agree, and he'd probably laugh. And whenever I couldn't make it, and my preps would be, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and longer if parents wanted to stick around. If I asked my pastor to do it, he was in and out in 10 minutes. And I know for certain he wasn't giving them what I was giving them. So another advantage of doing it online, particularly with this, is that everyone hears the exact same message. But I think more importantly is we would meet, and most places that most parishes and coordinators that I talk to will meet with a young parent couple twice. One of which is devoted entirely to catechesis and the other is to relationship building. Well, what I'm suggesting here is that if you use this program to catechize your parents, then you can still have 2 meetings, but you do not have to use your time going through this training. You can use it to be more of, again, a pastoral relationship building. And then you can also use one of those second meetings to get young parent couples together. Yeah. And hopefully by doing that, they will engage each other and feel good about maybe staying engaged in your parish. Now, I hope I've answered.
Another question that came up, Pete, that they have an English and Spanish community and asking if we have this in Spanish as well.
Yeah. So right now it is not available in Spanish. I got to be perfectly honest with you. It cost a lot of money to develop this. We could have only developed it in one language. I need to place this in a lot more parishes and make some money so I can develop it in Spanish. We are, though, working on something that would help that. But right now, it's only available in English and probably would only be beneficial to you if you had bilingual families.
Now, do you recommend mom and dad do the modules separately?
Only if they don't like one another. No, I'm only kidding. Honestly, I have heard nothing but good feedback when they do it together. And I will say this, we do use My Catholic Faith Delivered. So they're the ones that get the $25 fee, not us, because they administer this, all right, and handle the technology. So if husband and wife are together in the same space and they use the same device, then it's $25. If they're not in the same space, and again, this would be maybe if one of the spouses is traveling for business or, out of the area visiting, but they're using a separate device, there is a separate $25 charge. During COVID, almost everybody was sequestered together. And so 99% of all the parents that use this in the last year have done it together and actually have said it was a blessing to be able to do it together. Yeah. So I have not seen any difference.
So the question is that, there is a parish fee and then the parents and godparents also need to pay for it.
Right. So the parish fee is to enable anyone that you want in your parish to be an administrator, and you can have up to 4. So up to 4 people can have access to what I showed you, the dashboard, and being able to have all of the resources at their fingertips and also be able to monitor all of the parents' progress. So that's what that $299 is. And also be able to use our program to reach out to parents between baptism and Holy Communion, that 6 to 7 year time period where traditionally we lose parents. So we're hoping that you can use that platform to keep in touch with them and also push out other resources to them to keep them engaged. So that's what that $299 is. The $25 is to allow parents to go in and actually buy their modules. And again, once they buy them, they own them for 1 year. Okay.
Now, we've got a couple of, someone just came up with, I was just going to bring this, can the parish buy the modules for the families?
Yes, you can. And I would say now, about 50% of the parishes are paying for parent modules and the other 50% are not. Some parishes say, we don't charge a fee to our parents for the sacrament. So we'll pay the $25 because most of them give us a donation and we'll use part of that donation to pay for the modules. So I would say 50-50. So whatever is convenient for you or fits into your budget, yeah, but you can buy them. You can buy as many as you want. And let me see if I can go back and show you. Where you might be able to see this. So down here on the very bottom of the screen on the right, you will see available seats 12 and order management. The cathedral here buys blocks of 20 licenses and then goes into this order management and then assigns them to parents. So right now they have 12 available seats left that they can give out to 12 other young couples. So you can buy them. You can buy 5. You can buy as many as you want. I would say that most parishes that are buying them for parents buy roughly 10 to 12 at a time. If you're doing anywhere from, some parishes are doing, anywhere from 2 to 3 a weekend or 12 a month. So they're buying approximately 2 months worth at one shot. Yeah.
Okay, so another question. They have 2 parishes with a combined baptism prep. Does he need 2 subscriptions?
Okay. If you are treating them as one parish with one coordinator going in, then it's one fee. But if you're operating as 2 separate liturgical sites, unfortunately, you would have to purchase two licenses.
Okay, and someone is asking us to be a little more specific about what we mean on non-traditional families.
Yeah, so if you have families that have adopted children, if you're baptizing babies from same-sex couples, whatever the world considers as a non-traditional family that the church should be embracing. Baptism is given to every child. And we geared our program to not pinpoint a family that looks like what a traditional family looks like.
Okay. When parents go to create a login, what are they seeing on the screen?
They'll see, they'll go in and, first of all, they'll buy a course, and buying a course is very similar to buying something on Amazon. So they'll get a site from a coordinator in the parish. It's renew/online. They'll go on there, they'll click on that, they'll see an icon pop up, and it'll ask you whether you want to order a parent or godparent module. You click on the one you want, a box drops down, you fill in some information, which is our way of creating an account for you. It'll ask you for your credit card information. And once you pay for the course, again, it's just like your experience of buying something on Amazon. A box will pop up and it will ask you to associate yourself with your parish, which you will do. And then it will give you a login email, and you click on that, and you will go to a site that will ask you to put in your login information, which is your email address and a generic password. And then you will go right to that dashboard, which is this. And this is where you would put in your email and password, and then that will bring you to a dashboard. Now, this is a coordinator dashboard. If you look here, you will see it's very faint. It says my view. What will end up happening is you will get logged into your parish. You will not see this user admin. You will see my view, which will be basically this. Without these names, it'll just be you. So if you were Dan, you would see Dan, none of this, and all of this. And it would see baptism matters for either parents or godparents. It would say 0 progress, and your learner status would be active. As you go through, and over here would be a tab that says begin. As you begin the course, you'll see your progress being recorded. When you pop out and come back in, you'll see which progress up to, to date. You'll also be able to hit on the tab to continue within the course. It's very user-friendly.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's very user-friendly. We wanted to make sure of that. And a question has come up, does the database interface with the parish database? Not necessarily a direct interface. However, having worked with the tech folks on this a bit myself, you can download things as CSV or Excel files. So if you've got people who have logged into this, you can pull all that information out. That is your data to do with as you please. So yes, you can pull all of that data out and then upload it into your parish database.
And that's what, part of the $2.99 fee is. And you have access to the tech department at My Catholic Faith Delivered, who will help you in what you want to accomplish.
Right. And so someone's asking, so if the parish pays for a block of subscribers, then the parents do not have to enter a credit card.
Correct. So what you would do as a parish coordinator, you would go through the exact same process. You would go on the exact same website. You would fill in the parish information, put the parish credit card information, and where it says the number of courses, you would just increase it from 1 to whatever you decided to buy. And once you hit place order, you will own those courses. And when you go back then to your dashboard, you will see them under available seats. And from that particular site, you can then start giving them out to parents.
Okay. Well, it's great to have people asking so many questions. President, thank you for that answer. It's wonderful to have such an engaged audience, and we hope that we've really helped you understand the program. And Deacon Pete, if you can forward so we get back to your contact information, so all of those people who now want to sign up for a trial know how to reach you. I've already forwarded you someone's email address. They put it in the chat.
And great, it's great. And I'll do something that, people tell me I shouldn't do, but I'm going to actually tell you what my personal cell phone number is, because I don't have a problem answering questions directly if you want to get me on my cell phone. And that number is 917-880-9601. So if you're like me and you stay up late or get up early and you feel that I'm not in my office, but you have a burning desire to talk to me at that moment, then just call me on my cell phone. And I'd be happy to entertain any of your questions at that time. But I really do appreciate your engagement, your time. Baptism is very important. It's fallen out of its important place in the church. We need to help young parents, get back to realizing that it's important and that it should not be put off. And with Baptism Matters, the goal was not only to prepare parents for their child's baptism, but also to use it as an opportunity to evangelize young parents, opportunity to get them to come back into their parish, to become engaged with their parish, and to become connected with people. So I can't stress enough the importance of mentoring couples and also getting people together and using one of those 2 sessions to get young couples together and have them meet and connect. It's very, very important and powerful. So thank you. Jen?
So yeah, that's it. You will receive a copy, an email in a day or 2 from me with a copy of the recording of this webinar. So someone who was asking, the best way to share the information with their pastor. So if you have someone else that you want to share this information with, you can also, if you go onto our website, renewuntitled.org, you can, you'll see Baptism Matters is one of the programs that is featured there. And there, if you click through to that link, there's a brochure that's there that you can download and print out. If you've got somebody who needs that hard copy paper in front of them, you can give them that. But that seems to be it, I think. Let me just do a final check here. I think we got everything. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here with us, and we hope you take advantage of the trial and love what you see.
Have a great day, everyone.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.